Well, 2026 is already here, if you can believe it. And we have a big year planned. But our main announcement is we meet at 6 o'clock now instead of 7. So we've always met at 7 o'clock, but because of the library changing their hours, we're now going to meet at 6. So you come at our normal time of 7, we'll be about finishing up. So start our presentation at 6. So if you want to come a little bit early, please do, to have a little fellowship and visit with people. So this coming Tuesday, Major Doug Gifford is going to be presenting on the Missouri State Guard, and we had a little picture of some reenactors there on the front slide there. And so this is kind of the analog to the Enrolled Missouri Militia and Provisional Enrolled Missouri Militia that Jim Irwin talked about before, and they figured pretty big in my presentation on Joe Shelby's raid. So we're going to learn about the Missouri State Guard on Tuesday the 6th. And then the following month, I'll be talking about John A. Logan, who kind of a little known general, but actually rose to prominence in the West and was not far from St. Louis. He was in southwestern Illinois. So we'll be talking about him in February. Hey, we need presenters, so if you have something you'd like to present, I'll talk about our 2026 agenda here, but we are happy to postpone something, change the agenda, slide you in if you'd like to speak. If there's anything that you have prepared that you would like to present to us, we would love to have you. We have our own webpage, and it's cwrtscc.org, so thanks to Doris, Keeve, and Frankie for that. Some items of interest here. So the St. Louis County Library is going to be hosting a Zoom presentation on the Camp Jackson affair on Saturday the 22nd from 10 to 11. And so if you go to the St. Louis County website, St. Louis County Library website, they'll have info on that. And then the Ulysses S. Grant National Historic Site has a lot of activities planned in January, and so you'll want to check out that website. Here's some sister organizations. So the Civil War Roundtable of St. Louis has a meeting on the first Thursday of each month in addition to their regular meeting. And then there are other Civil War Roundtables across the country. So the Civil War Roundtable Congress website is there. Here's our tentative campaign for 2026. And so we already talked about January and February. In March, Jim Irwin's going to come back talk about Julia and Ulysses Grant. Weather permitting and the federal government permitting, we're going to go to Wilson's Creek the weekend of March 28th and 29th. And then in April, Tom Rafner's coming back. Now, he spoke to us a few years ago, and he's coming back to talk about General Orders number 11. And then in May, Doug Gifford will be talking about the end of the Civil War. So this is a nice bookend to his presentation earlier this year on the opening rounds of the Civil War. He's going to talk about the end of it. And then May 9th, we're going to go fire some black powder weapons. So that'll be a nice change of pace for us. Doug's going to come back in June to talk about the Prairie Grove campaign. July 7th, Lane Chartrand will be back to talk about the Civil War Confederate soldier. And he will have all the period correct gear. August 4th, Doug Gifford's going to talk about the Civil War in northern Missouri. So we've talked a lot about Wilson's Creek and things of that nature, but there were some pretty big skirmishes in northern Missouri as well. September and October, a two-parter on Vicksburg. October 17th, we're going to tour Jefferson Barracks, and we're going into the historic buildings at Jefferson Barracks, and some places that the general public doesn't always get to go, so that'll be nice. November 3rd, I'll be back to talk about Perryville, and then we'll round out our year in December like we always do, with watching a documentary and having some cookies and some hot chocolate. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about a service project that we're planning. And so there is a cemetery near the Peru Creek Fort site, which is the picture on our YouTube banner. Those gentlemen there with the white armbands are Missouri pro-Union Missouri militia that are at the Peru Creek Fort. This cemetery is near that site, and as you can see from some of these videos and pictures, the site's about, 40 feet by 40 feet. And at some point, someone took all the headstones and piled them in the corner. And so we want to take those headstones, clean them up, get them set up. I'd like to get them set up in the proper place, but I'm not sure that we have the records for that. But if at least we could take those headstones and get them up, get them set up, get them looking good, cleaned off. That's our goal. I think it's pretty much a tragedy that any cemetery would look like this. I am thankful that whoever owns this land has kept it mowed. So that's nice. It was nicely mowed, but at some point, I don't know if this was intentional or vandals did this, but someone has come along, piled up all those headstones in the corner. So we're going to pull them out, clean them up. If you have any info on this cemetery and would like to get it to us, because we would love to know, we'd love to get the headstones in their proper places. But barring that, at least get them set back up in some kind of order and get that done. So that's a service project we'd like to do before the cold weather leaves us, because there is some poison ivy at that site, and so not appropriate to do in spring, summer, or fall. And so it'll be a little cold, but we want to take this on as a project, so that's what we're hoping to do. If you would like to contact us, here's our contact info. Here's our Facebook page and email for Doug, our website, etc. Hey, thanks for watching. Remember, 6 o'clock Tuesday, and we hope to see everyone then.